Okay, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on whatever your time frame is. Here in the US Eastern, it's 10:28 a.m. and today is January 13th. I keep a calendar over there, so I have the calendar for this year and the calendar for next year. I've been having that for a while like that because I'm a big planner. Not that I plan everything for next year at this time, but we'll talk about it another day. So today I wanted to talk about this thing. If you have seen my video yesterday, so I was doing lots of studies from business books. From my corporate experience, I had the privilege of learning a lot of businesses already. Speaking of that, if you often come visit my channel, I have linked my LinkedIn bio on the YouTube main page where they have the description and all that. So if you're interested, you can see. Because I do plan on expanding the help that I'm providing to some people already for a while to others, because I feel like this is really my true calling, because I have seen when people are happy with the, not only happy, but the big things they are able to achieve with the coaching that I have been helping them with in the last 3 to 6 months. Of course, I myself is learning too. As you guys know, I am exploring and learning, and I have learned a lot of things over the last 10, 15, 20 years. So I have put it down. So since you guys are my friends, if I can call you guys that, so I have put it down like a program. I'm trying to simplify it further. Right now I have 6 steps, but I might simplify it further. And then I'm going to create a playlist where I cover the steps. So the whole point is that I have seen that, a lot of it would depend on the people's personality, because we all have very different personality. Some people are really go-getter, and some people would say that they're go-getter, but then they wouldn't. And some people are like I don't know, it's like, they don't really care. At the same time they do, because otherwise they're sad. So all of it, there is no wrong or right in that. A lot of it comes from how we grew up, our surroundings, etc. So for me, I think I became a go-getter. I don't know in my very early life I was or not. Probably I was. And then since I went to my college, I was 18, and since then until now I'm 40 something, all the decision I had to make myself, because all my family is in India. So that kind of makes you, like, forces you to be go-getter, because you have to do everything yourself. You have to make the decision. And with that, what comes is, when we make a good decision, great. If sometimes the decisions can be wrong, and then you learn from it and things like that. So anyway, so I am creating this coaching program, which is more formal, where I will have 6 steps or something around that. And I will try to simplify, and then maybe in the coming weeks, I will create a playlist with those steps, because this is something, not only it worked for me, but the people around me, I help them with, and the results that I'm seeing, that it's absolutely amazing, because something people thought they couldn't do or impossible, and they're doing it, and they're happy, and it is making me so happy seeing that their progress, right? So I want to help more people. That's the idea. So you guys will see that coming. And So I was listening to that book, the 10 times rule, the 10x rule, it's called, the book that I covered yesterday. I was reading 5 different business books at Barnes and Noble. I was kind of skimming through the parts, and that book is what caught my eyes the most, and I read quite a bit, and I was listening to that book, and one of the chapter was about obsession is a gift. Obsession is not a bad thing. Obsession is a gift. So this was really interesting to me because I always thought so too. However, I have never seen that put it in words before. And I liked seeing that because I have this tendency too. And I think anybody who has a little go-getter type of attitude are like that. They get obsessed. Now, obsession shouldn't be for everything, right? Because then you'll be using your energy for something that doesn't create any value or real happiness for you. So what I would say is, the things that brings you happiness, the thing, if you feel that is your calling, if you're obsessed with that, then it can feel really, really good. The interesting part, though, even with that, there could be things that could be pulling you back. So I'll give an example. As I was doing all of that, so I had a conversation with a good friend yesterday, and both of us were going through different things. She's going through some things, I'm going through some things. However, because we didn't have the time to catch up with each other in a while, and so when we talked, I think we both felt like we didn't understand each other. I'm glad that later on we talked about it, and we openly talked about it, and it helped. But during the day, it kind of, both of us, we were kind of having a little sad, painful experience from that. And even though you can't really do anything about it, mind was going there. So, and partly the thing that we can understand each other's situation, even if we knew all the stories about each other, the part that I use, 8 billion people in the world has 8 billion unique journey. So no matter how much we talk to each other or whatnot, everybody will have a different understanding even of the same things. So now you might think that when I'm obsessed about this so much, why am I still, my mind is going there? And that's a common thing. It's a normal thing, because our human brain is so used to the habit, it's supposed to, it goes into that fight or flight mode, right? So when you are not fighting or flighting, if you're not fighting, which we're not, then the emotion is still in the negative zone. Remember, the subconscious is always, it's from that the negative, the fearless or fearful, right? If you go deep, it could be from some fear that we don't even know what it is about. The guilt or something. I want to help my friend, but I can't right now because they are far away, plus the timing and everything. So I know I should not be feeling guilty, but that is our human nature. So anyway, the point is also, I share this also because we all have different things going on in our life. I see a text, I'll check it later. So we all have different things going on in our life, and sometimes it is okay, because they say also that what you resist persists. So you don't want to resist it too much. At the same time, you don't want to add too much fuel to the fire also. So, and one other thing I learned from the book is, one other way to do it is, when you're getting obsessed about your thing, that, like in my case, I'm hoping to help lots of people how and whatnot, creating the program, simplifying it, and make it, make it better or whatnot. So if I'm so focused on that, my mind automatically will be so busy with that it shouldn't be going there, right? So that's another way to do it. But ultimately, it all goes back to training our mind in a way that those 3-step thinking, speaking, action, thinking, speaking, actions. Because if I'm just thinking about that, my speaking automatically will come to that. Like, because one of the 3 dominating thought in my mind from yesterday was that, and that is why you're seeing that in the speaking, I brought that story up. I like it or not, I did. I mean, it was a little bit intentional too. I wanted to use that as an example. However, but at the same time, I used the speaking of the program that I'm creating, the new videos in a playlist that I'll create with that. I'm calling that program as Midlife Mastery, because I really want to help people in the areas of midlife transition, and some even with community building and public speaking. So a lot of it is to overcome our fear in the way public speaking. A lot of people want to be better at public speaking, but they don't take action. So I want to inspire, and which I am inspiring some of my friends that I know. The way public speaking helps to break the fear is there's a list, they say, where in that top the list of most fearful things that people have, where number 1 is death, number 2 is public speaking. That's a funny joke that we have at Toastmasters, but that is real too. Number 1 is death, number 2 is public speaking. So people would rather die than speak in public. But it's of course not for all, but it's general. So what happens with breaking a fear in one area of our life helps to break other fears, and larger the fear is, when you break it, the small fear seems like, negligible, because there's this invisible barrier, and how thick the barrier is depends on how hard you think it is. So, if you're a little fearful, it might feel like, it's a millimeter thick. So it's easy to break, right? But then if public speaking is like, it's a 5-inch invisible barrier, when you break that 5-inch barrier, you speak in front of 5,000 people, and you're not afraid, and you're like doing amazing, then all the other invisible barrier that people have that are 1 inch or 2 inch, they will feel like nothing, because you already crossed that 5-inch wall of that fear. So that is one way, like breaking some fear that is lingering, and a lot of time it helps with something that if you were fearful in your childhood, if that still continued. So I'll use an example. When I was 10 years old, about 10, back in India, I was swimming in a pond, and there we call those as pond, like big, long, kind of lake, like here from the US perspective, I would say. So a friend of mine and I, she was also about my age, but she knew really good swimming and really good how to swim. And for me, I just learned. I didn't know it as good, but we decided we'll go from one end to the other. It was not too, the distance was not too much, but because I was new into it, halfway I just got so tired, I just couldn't, and I almost died. Luckily, one of the women, their house was right next to the pond, and she was my mom's friend. She saw me struggling, and my friend was young just like me, my age, so she couldn't help. Even if she wanted, she couldn't help. So she swam over there. She saved my life. Bless her soul, because I heard that she died about 10 or so years ago. So she saved my life then. So I didn't become too fearful of swimming or anything, but I never had because we moved from there after that, not because of this, but it was, other reasons. So we moved there was a small city, so we moved to a little bit bigger city, still in the same state. And there was no pond or anything, so I never had the opportunity to learn swimming. And in India, it's not, you don't have like, okay, you take swimming classes and all that. And even if you did, we didn't have the money to do that. So I always wanted to go take swimming lessons. So back in, I don't remember the exact year, but about 15 years ago or so, I took lessons. And I learned also. I did level 1, and I probably should have done level 2 because I almost forgot how to swim because I don't practice. But the point here is I always, and that could be something to do with my personality, I always look at it like when you have a fear, you can do something about it to, break the barrier of that fear, because the happiness lies on the other side of fear, because the exhilaration and all of that you get when you break that barrier, it's absolutely amazing. Now, you don't want to jump off a cliff or jump off a building because that's fearful. You want to be reasonable. So those are all interesting things that I'm doing. Today I'll be going to the church for something. I was supposed to go last Monday, but then there was snow, so I had to postpone it. So today I'll be going there. Excited about that. And the cool thing is how life changes with different things. You guys might have seen my Monday videos for, I would say, a couple months ago, where Mondays used to be a little sad for me because I used to compare that with when I worked 20 years. And in between, I was looking for jobs and how things were, but now I'm in a totally different zone that I'm not looking for a job. This is what I'm going to fully commit to. Not going to, I actually fully committed to. And so I look at things very differently because I am working my ass off in this one, because I have done other ventures before, but you can call it that others were not successful. However, I learned a lot from those. And I really, really do feel like this is my calling, because this makes me so happy too. As I'm saying this, I met with a friend who I'm helping. So last weekend we met in a coffee shop, and the changes that I have seen in her, oh my God, it's absolutely amazing. If I can see that in 100 people's face, 500 people's face, oh my God. Yeah, so I've been helping a few friends, but hers has been the absolutely amazing one. Also because she is really committing to it. And so when people commit, you know how in a school or in a coaching program you have your teachers and students, and the students who are committed, and because their results speak for themselves, and we see that, and the teachers get happy, right? It's somewhat similar. And I was like, oh my God, I was coaching for leadership related or public speaking related coaching and mentoring folks from, I don't know, last 10 years or over. But I never really thought that life would take a turn in this way, where I would help people with midlife transition. But this is where I found that my true calling is, because when I went through my sudden job loss and then life transition, going through divorce, I found that, of course, a lot of learning, a lot of growing, a lot. And now looking back, not having the job gave me some time to learn and grow and attend training, attend coaching, different classes, whatnot, which helped me to be where I am today. And learning that never stops. I still keep learning because if not every single day, every other day or weekly, I'm learning, reading from new books, learning online, learning from online. So I hope if you guys are also, I know from the comments that at least one person I think is going through some difficulty in that area, life transition. There is a very bright light on the other side. Just keep going, keep going. It is, when you get to see that bright light, it is intangible, because no matter how somebody tells you, when you experience it, it is beyond imagination. Because if people say it, it might sound crazy, because to me also it would have sounded crazy if somebody told me 6 months or a year before. So I wouldn't tell you to take my word for it, but keep going. You will feel it, you will experience it. I promise you will experience it. Just don't give up, keep believing in yourself, keep going. Okay, so with that, I'm going to finish the video. Take care, and I'll keep working on those stuff, and then I'm going to share in the coming weeks. I have to plan it around in a way to simplify it, and so it's easily digestible and applicable for people who can see it online and use it. Okay, bye.